Dick Shake's walking it off for right now. He's going to come back. Are you doing Streamlink, or are you doing the other thing? How'd you capture? I mean, did you? Okay. Give me a second to set up. All right, we are live, pal. Give me a minute to catch up with my notes. You see, Shiner is in New Kasuto. I am on, right? So I'm not talking to myself. Okay. Shiner is in New Kasuto. He is in the spell area, and he's got life. He's in New Kasuto. I do not know if jkoper arrived at that at this time. And I have to switch over chats here so I can see chat yelling at me. He does have spell. We did get that in Raru, so he is able to get this item. And the item is a magic jar. That brings him up to 6 total, 96 MP. jkoper at 333 is finally going into one that we questioned early if he should go into or not, but he has arrived at all the items in the Western continent, all the locations, and he must be satisfied with his exploration as of right now. So he's going to tackle one instead of going to the east, and he dies as he's about to get the item. No big deal, he's got a couple lives left. He'll try it again. And we can see that item is the glove, so that's going to pay out. The glove in 1 for jkoper. Always a good feeling when you can find that in the location you decide to go into when there is a given choice. So mark that down. There's no... Yes, there is a magic... jkoper did get the magic key from the magic container cave as well. That is correct. So there's nothing stopping jkoper now from doing all the things in the palaces, except maybe if he wants a couple levels to take on Barba, Aguma, or what have you. Reflect also needed for Palace 4. We got Shiner continuing to explore the east. No gems placed yet. jkoper is about, I would say, 2 minutes from placing one here in 1. How's everyone doing tonight? Thank you to Nurm, however you want to say it. I never know. He never tells me. For picking up the restream here. 3 spells for Shiner. Spell in Raru. Jump in Saria, life in New Kasuto. I'm going to try to pay attention when jkoper pauses next time. Still trying to find Horsehead. Only a couple rooms left. And that is fire in Nubaru for Shiner. I don't know if he knows that it's linked with another spell or not. We get the horse head fight for jkoper right now. Shiner refills his MP. If anybody sees fire when somebody casts a spell that's not fire, please shout it out. And there you have the first gem, 2147 on jkoper's timer. Takes the 1-0 lead on the gems. We got a Valley of Death sighting here on Shiner's side, and he's going to go through it. He's going to try to encounter skip here. He does have Spell. We were talking about this before with Dig Shake and how Spell is useful in these areas. You see that a lot with 100% ult keys. Helps you get through it very quickly with one spell cast, but it is costly. You probably can only spell it once. Use it once. He was close to a level. He does take it with attack 4. He's being life 4. He's being very careful here not to get knocked into the lava, and then almost gets knocked into the lava after he stops being careful. And he's going to push through Valley of Death here. As far as I know, Valley of Death can contain 2, 4, 5, or 3, or 6. We've only seen 1 and 3 of 6 that I know of. We might have seen something else in the interim. I don't know what the third palace was, and maybe this is it on jkoper's screen on the Western continent. If anybody knows what the third palace was on the Western continent, please let me know. Unfortunate there, Shiner cast jump to try to get through that encounter and got knocked back into the lava. He's going to try one more time. He's opting to do this instead of taking the encounter skips now. With these flags, whatever terrain tile you're on is the encounter you're going to get on the overworld. They are not shuffled. Roads are always safe. Shiner's going to try to take care of that Moa while the spider just decides to dance on his head and takes a game over. He'll start back in the west.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry about all the restream shenanigans.
Welcome back, Dig Shake. You missed a little bit, but not too much. jkoper is wandering the western continent here. I believe he's looking for a short cave was the way back to the raft spot. So I believe he was looking for that. He found it. Now he's going to be on the east for what I think is the first time. Shiner just game overed in the east, and you missed jkoper place the gem in 1 and find the item in 1, which was the glove.
Okay.
And that is your Geico recap. Minutes can save you 15% on cartridges.
Glove in 1, huh? That's a pretty generous glove spot.
I believe that's like the easiest so far of the 5 or 6 races that we've had. And the most generous spot it's been in so far.
Yeah. So Shiner is going through the bridge encounter, it looks like. He has the raft, right? So he could also go to the east if he wanted to.
He game overed in the east just before, but not before picking up the magic jar in the New Kasuto spell tower. And fire in Nubaru and life in New Kasuto. jkoper just picked up the kid in one of the Peabag caves.
Okay.
The easier of the two, the one with the large enemies instead of the flying enemies. And you can see right there, that's the opposite side of what I believe is one of the the Nubaru cave. Let me check real quick. That was the short opening. Yeah, that was Nubaru cave. So eastern end of the Nubaru cave has been found. And we have the cross, and the cross was, I don't know where.
Looks like in the magic container slot in Kasuto.
Wonder why Shiner didn't get, or maybe he did get it and I just missed it. So cross in New Kasuto. Actually, he did get it because I was watching him fight Moas. he finally picks up downstab. So he went to the east without downstab. I don't think he did a full exploration of the west before he left to take on the east. And then life here for jkoper in New Casino, and he'll be on his way to the Spell Tower to pick up another magic jar, and he'll be at 6 containers, 96 MP, just like Shiner is. Shiner makes his way out of Mito. I don't know if he's even seen Palace 1, but he's going to bang into the Swamp Tiles. Not sure if he's looking for experience to finish off this level, or if he's just unaware and thinking maybe that items can be here now. Picks up a little digger, though, a little insurance. Magic jar for jkoper. Dig Shake, when do you arrive at the decision? Like, we were talking a little bit about Palace 1 before, why jkoper may or may not have banged into it. What is your decision on going to the east?
Yeah, well, I was kind of mentioning this earlier, although I'm not sure if you guys heard it because of all the stuff that was going on, but a lot of times I feel compelled to check all the caves and stuff in the west before going east. But after that, I'm a big fan of going east early, especially if you don't find a fairy spell or a magic key or something that'll let you start exploring palaces.
4 is in the east. It's in the northern area of the section jkoper's in, which is probably middle of the continent, considering there's a road going north and south. Magic key was in magic container cave, magic jar cave, and jkoper picked it up. I do not know. I have to get a good look at the items Shiner has. My items match what the tracker has, but I'm not too sure if that's just me yelling them out. Getting confirmation, Shiner is missing the glove and magic key from our producer, and he is in Heart Container Cave right now, and he'll pick up a 500-point P-bag for his efforts. Just going to spoil that a little bit so I can watch jkoper. .point P-bag is kind of interesting there, Dig Shake, because it enables him to get Magic 3, which he passed on. But it also sets up a situation where now I believe 860 was life 5.
Oh, really? It's not the next attack level?
It might be. But considering it might be Heart Container on the Desert Tile for jkoper, I mean, Devil's Advocate, well, just like, you know, for argument's sake here, picking up that P-bag and then arriving at the decision to take maybe life 5, you would probably skip over that as well and try to find a way for attack 4, right?
Yeah, especially because you've got a couple of extra magic containers off the bat, which alleviates a lot of the pressure from being able to cast spells, so.
Key get for Shiner there. And jkoper may pick up a P-bag here. He's kind of in that same situation where he's about to take what could be life 5. Oh, no, he canceled it. I'm sorry. And then attack 5 is 2320, which he's about 9,056 away from. 956. Just raining experience for him. He's going to try to do this super jump. He doesn't have fairy, so he's going to take a few attempts here to try to clip into the ceiling. Does it on his third attempt. Very nice. And he'll go grab the upstab. And he has the kid, by the way, Dig Shake.
Yep. And Shiner being a nice guy saying hello to Bagu, even though Bagu is completely useless in this seed, as far as I can tell.
Well, jkoper did get all the things. I didn't notice him getting Bagu, and I didn't see him necessarily going through Saria. But looking at the items here, Shiner must have got that magic container from the medicine cave, since he does have 6 and jkoper has 6. So that was probably me mismarking that. I don't know if he's seen the P-bag cave with the 200-point P-bag inside of it, but I don't think he's been the one. So in his mind, he may not know where everything is, and he might just be picking it up just in case it's required. Got a little reflect there.
Shiner puts Bagoo to use. He's going back through Saria. Not sure where he's headed. Where do you think he's going?
I think he's trying to go find the other area. Other caves, other stuff. Kid required for Reflect. Kid was in P-Bag Cave on the Eastern Continent. I truly believe he's trying to find the rest of the continent right now. Maybe there's a palace he didn't find, which is right there. And it's the palace that we first found. So he's just going to go right through it again. Second time in here for him.
Yeah, but he did not swing by Palace 1 to pick up the glove, so this is still a little bit risky.
Right, I honestly feel like he does. And please correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody's seen it, if they were on multi-Twitch in between us trying to set up. I don't think he's been in 1, and I don't even know what the third palace is on the Western Continent, to be honest. I just know that 4 is on the Eastern Continent. Ubaru now for jkoper. So we might now find out what another piece of the puzzle is. What is fire?
Do we know what the fire is paired with? Because Shiner has it.
Shiner has it. He never casted it. Never cast it, as far as I know.
I wonder if he's aware of the mechanic, since he's not raced in a while.
Yeah, that was one of my original questions, but jkoper is aware of it, so he'll try to test it out. As far as I know, it's Reflect, okay? Or is that a guess? Because as far as I know, it's not anything I've seen so far, so it could be Reflect, Thunder, or...
I did see Shiner did have Reflect, so if he doesn't actually have the Reflect spell, then that makes a lot of sense.
DH in chat says he casts it against a red Dyra, so Reflect is... Okay, so now Reflect in Darunia, Kid not required. So that's a little unfortunate for jkoper, if you're rooting for jkoper, because he actually dug out, had the Kid early, so... And spent the time to go cash it in as well. We're in 1, I believe, right? Or is this?
Yeah, this is 1, and that's where you want to be if you're Shiner. Pick up that glove. It seems like all the runners really need at this point is Thunder and maybe Fairy, and then they'll be in pretty good shape.
Well, we haven't seen 2, we haven't seen 5, we haven't seen Great Palace, so, you know, if that's not in Valley of Death. And I haven't seen the other of 3 or 6. But, again, there's one that was on the Western Continent and I didn't notice. So we can't say for sure if boots are not required. And we haven't seen Kasuto. But we are on Maze Island for jkoper right now. He's going to go into this palace, and it is the other one of 3 or 6. No way to tell until you go down. He has the magic key. He has the glove. Maze Island is 3. Thank you.
Yeah, 6 is the one that's near start there.
Okay.
Which Shiner's been into at least twice, and is going to have to go back again, because I don't think he got very far either time.
No, just far enough to get a magic attack level early at the beginning of the race, and then whatever he did there before the up aid, and to find 1. So jkoper has a couple options here. He can go right, and if right is a dead end, he can go down and then to the right. At this point in time, Dick Shake, if you're jkoper, are you even care about the item? We'll see if he does or not. Because it's right here, and he's going to go through and get it. Heart container in 3. Well, we have the item room in 1 for Shiner, and he's going to be pleasantly surprised. 36 minutes is not a terrible time to find the glove, even if it's right there in 1. You have some knowledge, you have some additional spells, you have some overworld exploration done. takes the death warp right back out of the right to the start of the palace, which might be a little bit of a benefit depending on where Horsehead was. jkoper finds the outside dead end, the only palace where you can go outside within the palace. A nice little courtyard area. So he's going to continue right. Unfortunate for him, he only arrived at the decision to go down in that elevator because he missed the jump. So he's now going to have to try to do it. He did have the jump spell. He effectively did not take it, or maybe he did go right. That's right. The right area was the item. And then he went down after that. My apologies. Well, hopped up on that maple syrup, Dick Shake.
I could use some maple syrup about now. Who's your maple syrup provider, Larry?
I like a original log cabin, but
Yeah.
for some reason the family picks up this Vermont Maid or something like that. I don't know what that is, but
Costco makes some pretty good maple syrup, the Kirkland brand.
I think when it comes to maple syrup, and it's like one of those things, I'm at the liberty of whoever went food shopping to decide, and
Yeah.
I don't have a choice in it. Shiner takes another death in one, trying to kill a blue Nut Knuckle, and we have Reboneck for jkoper, so he's about ready to set up. He's on his last sliver of health. I don't know if you'd call that zombie link or not.
Oh, takes a bop, so still has a life left.
Yo, let me tell you about Aunt Jemima. That stuff's good too. I never had Mrs. Butterworth though. It's like deprived of that. But there you go. Nice quick fight. Low health. He is attack 5 fighting Reboneck, so. Simultaneous boss kills. But jkoper is going to go back for the 40 XP, Dig Shake.
Uh-oh. I don't approve, but, you know, actually, everybody says this whenever I complain about grinding. It really is dependent on how comfortable you feel with your skill set, and as much as I make fun of grinding, I certainly can't fault people for doing it if they feel it's necessary to get through.
He did have to go pretty far back and fortunate enough to leave an enemy behind. And it being worth enough for him to flip over the counter to the next available level. And he's going to go place it. Excuse me, speaking of maple syrup.
You go down the wrong pipe?
Yeah, kind of.
I thought maybe you just pulled Super Troopers and sat there and chugged a whole bottle or something.
No, I had a little bit of a revisitation of a KFC maple Kentucky hot, whatever that is, Memphis hot little chicken little sandwich. But attack 6 for enough about my intestinal issues. We have attack 6 and Palace 3 clear for jkoper right there. 2 gems to 1. And we'll see where he goes from here. We don't have either item on Maze Island, and it looks like he's going to look for it.
What do you think he's looking for?
At this point in time, it might just be, you know, maybe he just wants some boots action, or like foreshadowing the need for the medicine and trophy and not wanting to double back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we still don't know where Thunder is, so it's still entirely possible that one of those 2 spell items is required.
It's one of those cool but unfortunate things, depending on your take on how you like to play randomizers. Every item everywhere, with the additional, you arrived at the spell items a lot quicker in the 2.0 logic. And you're seeing a lot of times 3.0 races just being held up by the odd magic item somewhere that's blocking a necessary, thing.
Yeah, although, I mean, a lot of that's just bad luck, too, because you get 5 of them, 5 of the 8 for free, basically, so since you only need really 2 and maybe 3 to truly beat a seed, just kind of a bad draw when that happens. Shiner's in 5, so this is the first time we've seen 5, I believe.
Did you notice if that was on the west or the east?
I think he's still on the west.
Okay.
But I don't remember him taking the raft, so.
So it's possible jkoper found that as well before he arrived at his decision to jump into 1, and we just kind of missed it in the confusion. But jkoper is still plugging away here on Maze Island. Finds the first item. It is the boots in the magic container, magic jar section. Dig Shake, consolation prize right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great item to find. Even if it's not strictly required, it's certainly it's going to help his movement on the overworld quite a bit.
If you're looking for something and then that's what you find instead, you're doing pretty well for yourself. He can actually get out of here quicker as a result of getting that, so it's saving him time instantly.
Yep.
But he'll still continue on to the second item. Do you think sometimes players, and I'm not talking jkoper right now, it's just conversational. Do you think sometimes players get to Maze Island with the stuff they need to finish the seed, but since there are 2 items in Maze Island, they just kind of go into like a little bit of a like autopilot mode and just start looking for them?
It's a good question. I guess I haven't really noticed that as we see jkoper finding a pea bag here, not even bothering to pick it up.
Yeah, they do nothing for him, and who knows how much it is anyway.
I mean, Maze Island is sort of a bonanza with the 2 basically free items there, but if you don't need them, you don't need them, so it's going to be faster to get out of there.
If you arrive there with knowing you needed thunder, and there being like 3-4 possible places it can be, and 2 items, like 50% of those areas had items that blocked it, would you take your time to try to find that, or would you want to be specifically told, hey, listen, now you need to go look for an item for the spell?
I'd probably grab him. I'd probably grab him if I still needed the spell. I don't like going back to Maze Island because it's usually kind of out of the way, so if I can just clear the whole thing out while I'm there, I usually will. So jkoper, where is he headed? He's stuck into this palace. Palace 4.
I should have killed one of those guys, probably.
Interestingly, did not go to Palace 6 right by start there, and that's actually something that I know jkoper feels pretty strongly about. He does not like to tackle 5 or 6 any earlier than he needs to, so not surprised to see him do this here. Shiner is just killing every single thing that gets in his way. He is gung-ho on experience collecting.
jkoper in 4 also had another jump where casting jump just to make sure you make the jump. He didn't do it. He fell, and then he just happened to reap the benefits because in the next room was Kara.
Yep. That happens to me in 6 a lot too. I try to get across the Canadian hole or something and end up falling, and oh hey, there's Barbara anyway.
Me, doesn't happen. I don't have magic. I don't have magic for fairy. I fall, it's the fairy room, and Barbara's right to the right. That happened about 2 hours ago. Just saying, Dig Shake.
Yeah.
But yeah, now jkoper's going to go on a little bit of a hunt here. I don't know if he's going for... He might be, because he's going to respawn these raw heads over and over again. They give him 20 points. He's going to get up to the 710 here. So second time here that jkoper is, I wouldn't say grinding, but getting the pennies, the spare change for the next level. But I don't think that matters, because Shiner is just killing everything at the same time.
I would say grinding. This is totally grinding.
This was too far away. Well, now he's got to go up to 860. You know, at least he doesn't have to go seek out the XP and where to get it or jump over the statue. Like, it's a known quantity here of how many kills he needs, and I guess he felt like he needed the kills. Attack 7 right now at 3 gems. You know, you could have probably eaten this gem and still arrived at attack 7 and whatever levels he's going to finish at.
Yeah, he's gonna have... I mean, he's gonna be buffed when he gets done with this. He'll be 868 or something probably at worst case. Especially... Go ahead.
Chiseled and jacked.
I mean, just look at jkoper. He looks pretty chiseled. I like the little scruff he's got going on.
He's going back in, though. He wants this item.
So how many spells are left that they haven't gotten yet? We haven't seen Thundertown, right?
No, Thundertown we have not seen. We have not seen the spells in Mito, and we have not seen the spells in Gerudo, because we have not seen the medicine, nor have we seen the trophy. jkoper has a 5th spell that Shiner does not, and it is... I don't know what it is. Reflect. Because he cashed in the kit for Darunia, and Shiner never got the kit.
What the heck?
So you basically got a 1 in 3 shot of finding what you want. I'm sure if he does find Thunder in Thundertown, he's going to be kicking himself a little bit. But as it stands, I don't think it's a terrible decision to go in here and find this item.
I haven't done the math for this tournament, and I forgot the math for from the last tournament to know exactly how many rooms are in 4. But looking for the item in 4 as opposed to like forcing it in 5 and 6 when you arrive in 5 or 6 might be better to rule out the option that the item you're looking for is not here than it is to guess it's somewhere else and then have to return after a long search for it in a panic mode.
Well, what are the remaining options? We've got 2 and 5 and Death Mountain.
2, 4, 5, 6. Both items in Death Mountain, the water tile, and the second pea bag cave.
So the water tile seems pretty tempting at this point, especially since he found those boots. But here it is. Here's the item in 4. So let's see what he gets for his trouble.
Hey, Madagascar Dave says 4 is smaller than 2, and I know because of him, I know 3 is smaller than 2 as well. Arcatan.
Yeah, 3 is pretty darn small, actually.
Also very, very linear, and we have a Goomba fight. Let's not ignore that. Did Shiner find the item in 5?
I don't think that he did, no.
Because he was in there for a pretty long time.
It seemed like he was going right when possible, which indicates that he wasn't really looking for it.
jkoper is going to go through this area and collect the pea bag. I'm just saying he does have a pea bag in Maze Island if he's that desperate. It's still there.
And here's Thundertown, so we're about to find out how wicked this seed's going to be.
He did not bite on that one.
Oh, I heard you.
Thunder and Thundertown, Dig Shake.
Yep.
Is he full Dig Shake, would you say?
Well, it kind of depends on that fairy spell. So, fairy could be required in... well, we know it's not required in 5, but it could be required in 6. Or Great Palace, I guess, are the only 2 options. jkoper doesn't know that it's not required in 5.
Yeah, and he does find 2 very close to where he was, so he will just probably search for Helmet Head here.
You think we're going to see him dig the item out of 2?
Yes, because he knows he needs fairy. Oh well, a lot of people think, and a lot of people think, and I'm just going to say I think that fairy is always something that's mostly required anyway, if not a very comfortable luxury to have with fairy feed and the like. I'll almost always go look for fairy, even with magic key and every other item.
It doesn't happen too often where fairy's not required, but I've definitely seen it done and even finished a few myself where you didn't really need it, so.
But he finds Helmet Head very quick, so we'll find our answer. 2 shots at attack 7 and Helmet Head's gone. Why is Helmet Head called Howie Mandel?
I think it's because of the 3rd stage there where he's bald.
Okay.
I think he looks more like Voldemort, but...
I'm not familiar with Pokemon, so explain that to me. jkoper places gem number 4, and he gets out of there. He can't use the boots to get on the other side of that mountain, so he's going to have to walk around the old-fashioned way uphill.
Yeah, so he's not going for the item there.
No, this might be a calculated gamble. He was trying to get, I don't know what he was trying to do there. Trying to get XP on top of XP. Trying to create some XP glitch.
Taking the rafts back to the Western Continent, you don't see that too often. I was wondering why he wasn't going to up A and...
He didn't stop because he had to wait for that counter to go 98-10. So he didn't stop and wait for it and then go. He just kept moving.
So are we confirmed now that Great Palace is in the Valley of Death?
With finding 2 and 5 and 6 being in the west and 3 being in the east, yes, Great Palace is in the Valley of Death.
Do we know where that is?
Yes, because Shiner died trying to get through it.
Oh, okay.
Earlier on in the seed. That's where he took the game over in the east for the first time. So jkoper distributes those points wherever he distributed them, and now like on either gem he places, he's just gonna get what he gets and have no regrets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about taking this leveling scheme is that if he gets above that magic threshold, he gets a boatload more points, so he can level up magic very quickly as well.
So he feels he's at appropriate enough levels, and 7 attack, 8 life is certainly appropriate levels.
So both runners in 6 right now. Question is, can they get to Barba without the fairy spell?
I'll also lay this little gem on you. Neither player has found a hammer.
Oh yeah?
Just saying. Keep it in the back of your head. Hammer blocking, you know, a spell item that gets you fairy that's blocking, you know, 6.
That's about the only thing that could slow jkoper down at this point is needing that fairy spell to get through either 6 or Great Palace. Really, though, only 2 spots in 6 that need fairy and 2 rooms in Palace 7 that need fairy. So here's one of them on Shiner's side right there with that lava pit.
Yeah, not having fairy, he's got to go a different direction, and opting not to up A, and he's going to kill things. jkoper gets a ceiling walk right there. As he falls down the Canadian hole, now he's going to make his way right.
I think we saw Shiner go this way already a few minutes ago, so...
Maybe I should just take that. I probably should have.
Trying to think of what's left in Great Palace. As Shiner goes down this elevator, I gotta feel like that he's actually seen a very large chunk of the palace. He's been in here for quite some time.
Hey, it's his third time, and I believe this is the ceiling jkoper fell on top of. He was going to go a different way. Here's the one with the door. It's very similar to Palace 4, continuing the conversation from the other day. And he finds this room, and Dick Shake, I hate this room when I find it going left to right. You almost always think it's going to loop upon itself, or loop with that single narrow corridor, and then loop upon itself. But it doesn't here.
Yeah, and this is really interesting, actually. Shiner's found Barba, so no fairy required there, and jkoper is actually right behind him. As we see Shiner with the attack 5 jackhammer strats. About to have dual Barba fights going on here.
Attack 5 versus attack 7, jackhammer versus jkoper will just do the downstab, or just a couple hits at a time. High health Barba, it looks like. No, maybe not. Just the bar was a little slow to wind down. Shiner has no problem. jkoper's having no problem. Both of them place the gem within 30 seconds of each other. That'll be gem number 5 for jkoper, only needing Palace 7 now, and that's gem number 3 for Shiner. He still needs 2, 3, and 5.
Shiner's got 5. He needs 2, 4, and...
Oh, did I say 2, 3, and 5? I'm sorry, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4.
I almost set a record clicking my pen most times in a minute, so I got a little distracted.
So does jkoper know where Palace 5? Oh, well, yeah, he does now, because there it is.
He walked by it before,
Yeah.
very early on, and I'm just going to assume that he knew where it was before diving into one, assessing his options.
So Shiner has cleared the entire western continent, I believe, and is making his way west. So in terms of routing, Shiner's actually got a pretty good route going, because he does not have to go back west for any reason whatsoever.
No, but at the same time, this is the only other thing jkoper needs to do.
Yeah. No, jkoper's definitely got the lead. I guess if you're Shiner right now, you're kind of hoping jkoper gets berry blocked somewhere, because that's the only thing that's really going to slow him down at this point.
Yeah, not knowing what jkoper has, only knowing what you have, you might hope to find the boots on your way and hope jkoper never had them to begin with. Or he doesn't have thunder as well, so hope that jkoper never found the spell item to arrive at thunder, but we know that that's not a thing. Three least favorite rooms in Zelda 2 Randomizer. jkoper just went through number 2.
He found Goomba very quickly.
That's definitely a fraction of the time that Shiner took, for sure. And he's got a way higher attack and life level.
Yeah, no problem with that fight.
No, and that's the last gem right there. So Shiner has to fall here, and he sticks the jump. And I said that a little bit ahead of the video, because I knew he took off at the right spot. And arrives at the dead end early, so that's a good thing, because now he'll fall. It will skip the middle room, that other room, and go right to the bridge. Go right, and Carrick is right there. He doesn't have Reflect, but he has Fire, which is Reflect.
So how do you think Shiner's been doing with these new features that presumably he's never erased before?
Well, I mean, the fact that he's using Fire for Reflect is a good sign that he's aware and he's doing them properly. Kid in P-Bag Cave 1 on the east and 200-point P-Bag on the P-Bag Cave in the west were non-factors, because the Kid was Reflect and you have that with Fire. So I don't think any of that slowed him down whatsoever. Doing things a little bit earlier than he should have probably resulted in a little bit of a slowdown, but for your original question, I don't think he's been having a problem with the new features at all.
Yeah, I agree, and I think, you know, even though he's pretty behind on this race, he's still not somebody that I'd be super excited to go up against in future rounds of this tournament.
No, there's a lot of people that play this game that don't necessarily play the randomizer all the time, that they just need maybe one race under their belt. Need to make a mistake one time or just see something they did wrong, and they can be very scary for the rest of the tournament, like Simple Dude, of course, V. Resner, and certainly Shiner as well.
Actually, if I'm remembering correctly, I believe that Shiner beat jkoper in the previous tournament, which was considered to be a pretty big shocker at the time.
Did he?
I believe so. I think he beat jkoper in one of the early rounds, and jkoper was a pretty high-ranked seed.
Because I know Raikou Rider beat jkoper early.
Then maybe it was Shiner that knocked him out. I don't know.
I'm going to look that right up now, sir. This is what we do. We do research here. So jkoper is going to make his way through these encounters on the Valley of Death, and there's the Z2 randomizer from October 2016. And what I'm looking at here is Raikou Rider beat jkoper in the first round, and then
Oh, I was wrong.
Undead Phil beat jkoper in the second round. But
No,
Shiner beat Simple Dude in the first round before Double A knocked him off, and then Pierpont Lempkin got Shiner in the second bracket.
All right, I'm not sure what. Maybe I was thinking of Zelda 1 randomizer or something. Then I'm not sure.
I mean, we can make up a tournament if you want this scenario to happen. I beat Jam Evil in that tournament, by the way.
Yeah, in the made-up tournament that doesn't exist.
You can't prove that. But there's Thunder for Shiner in Thundertown. And we have arrived. We have the Valley of Death holding Great Palace, which we knew, but we need a visual confirmation because that could have been Maze Island for all I know.
I love this tile set, by the way, in Great Palace here.
Did you ever see the 80s radical purple with the, like, lime green, neon green tint? Like, edging?
I don't think so.
Dude, it was radical.
It sounds
It's, like, awesome. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It's like every shirt in the 80s had that, late 80s.
This palace, too, kind of looks like Wizard's Basement, almost.
Kind of looks like BGT's stream layout.
Oh. I don't know if that was actually a diss, but I'll pretend like it was.
Well, I said BGT, so that's probably a clear indication that it was. I like how jkoper is like, this room's not difficult enough. Let me spawn a red chicken without clearing the path to the other side first, and then...
Doesn't take the Eon drop right away. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, when you don't take the Eon drop and you get met with a dead end, it pretty much invalidates anything I have to say after that. I'll be nice to you. Somebody in chat wants a GeoGuessr randomizer tournament. I don't think they know what they're up against. Somebody fill them in.
Got a couple good GeoGuessr players. Larry, the OG GeoGuessr, was really good, and jkoper actually has been known for playing some GeoGuessr as well.
Hey, it was last Zelda randomizer tournament as we were waiting for somebody to get ready to start. I was an hour early on the stream, and I believe I introduced jkoper to the GeoGuessr world, and it's something I have to revisit because I missed that. But do we want to see jkoper? Like, this is the bad thing to wish for, but for the sake of the audience and the race altogether, are we looking for a fairy block here?
I think it's extremely unlikely, but it would be interesting. It would definitely throw a wrinkle in this race. We got Thunderbird, so...
We certainly do, and Shiner does arrive upon 4, and he's beat 4 already, so I wonder if he's just blindly taking caves at this point, hoping he gets to a new area. Because he seemed to go right for that palace as soon as he left the cave, like it was something new.
I mean, he has been stepping on the gas here. He's only got Palace 3 left until he's going to be heading into Great Palace himself, so... The gem gap has closed pretty significantly.
It is certainly something where Fairy could make a difference, but that means Shiner has to find the item and get Fairy himself for that to happen.
Yeah, and he's checked a lot fewer places than jkoper has, I think.
T-Bird down on jkoper's side, now with a couple options maybe left behind him. I didn't really track this one. Always a chance that Darkbird could be in the next room.
So this is the 3rd drop that he's taken, I believe?
Yes, the Eon drop, the other block drop, and then this one where you go up and over. And he goes into the not-so-fun room, but I still don't like this one, because this one has a lot of things flying at you, where you can time your jump wrong. Fairy room, you always go left in fairy room. jkoper's going to take the fairy. There's no shame in this. I don't like when people say that.
No, absolutely no shame whatsoever.
I like to see somebody do it on full health and try to risk it and then get frustrated and stuff like that. We do have a waffle room, and we do have a Walter Fopp confirmation, so I know what I'm doing tonight. GTA 5 is $23, by the way.
Hmm.
It might be something I do.
Are you gonna stream it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be doing this alone.
I'm still waiting on you to finish streaming the last Final Fantasy game.
They didn't complete it yet. I'm still waiting for updating chapters. Speaking of, I loaded the Zodiac Age into my PS4 today and immediately turned off the PS4, so $60 well spent.
Nice.
All right, we still have not. That was the Angry Larry one-on-one interview with Angry Larry for the race. We'll join the tournament in progress. We have not found Darklink yet. jkoper seems to be on a long linear path here. He's going to try to get the jar here. He's 0 for 1.
He did pass an elevator back there, actually.
He passed it. I'm sorry, linear in terms of being in a straight line, not having nowhere to go.
Well,
My fault. But,
all irrelevant now.
Yes, absolutely. Hour and 7 minutes and 30 seconds into the seed, we have a Darklink fight on jkoper's side.
What a great time by jkoper.
And there you have it. jkoper takes the first round matchup. Well, his first round matchup against ShinerCCC. 1 hour, 8 minutes flat.
That is a crazy good time.
Oh, absolutely. Dig Shake, looking at the seed, what do you think the most difficult part about this seed would have been?
Gosh, that's a great question. I think overworld navigation turned out to be the trickiest part of the seed. You did have to go through a cave to get to the raft spot, and I think you had to go through a cave to get to Thundertown and Palace too, if I'm remembering correctly. Is that right? Or were you able to...
I'm pretty sure you had to go through something to get to Thundertown, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was probably the trickiest part of the seed for these runners, because getting the glove and magic seed or magic key relatively early is a recipe for a quick time, for sure.
And fire being reflect negated the fact that you needed to find the P bag, which again, I don't know if Shiner necessarily knows that items are in P bag caves, or he's making it a priority because he's found none of them, west or east, I believe. But he could have found the one in the west, but he didn't find either in the east, so that greatly benefited him. And he does continue on in Palace 3. Do we have a time tiebreaker? No, right?
A tiebreaker for what?
For completing races and time and stuff like that? No, right? Because it's all record-based?
Yeah, it's all record-based, and we have the play-in race for people who have the same record, if they have 2 wins at the end of the first 4 rounds. So really, I mean, not that I encourage this behavior, but there's absolutely no penalty to forfeiting if you've already lost a race. But I do appreciate seeing people finish it out.
No, and in my case, I just had to take a little bit of a break to cool down, walk it off. But I needed to finish because I needed to know what I did wrong for the next time. This being the first round, there's 3 more games to go. And I certainly wanted to know, like, what did I need to arrive at faster? What did I need to do? What didn't I do? And I got all those answers and, you know, better for it.
Yeah. Questions in chat about how how it might affect the placement in the next bracket. I'll be perfectly honest with you, I'm not sure that I've thought that far ahead yet.
Oh, meaning it's time-based rankings for the next round, or is...
Seeding in the 16-player
okay.
bracket, yeah. That is not something that had even crossed my mind. It's a good point, though.
Oh, so okay, I was not even aware that seeding mattered. I thought it was just everybody who made it was just randomly placed in a bracket, but I guess it makes sense for it to be ranked.
Maybe just ranked by record, and people with the same record are randomly seeded based on that record.
I'll open it up to the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Discord and see what they think.
Oh.
I'm not too sure who I was jabbing at there, honestly. I think it was Bent Glass Tube.
I'm just gonna start saying "whoa" after everything you say, because I think anything you say could probably be construed as an insult under the right circumstances.
Even if I don't think it's an insult, you say "whoa," and then I'll think I made an insult, and then I'll try to figure out who I offended most, and then just go with it. But Shiner is still looking here for Rebenek. If I remember correctly, did we not have a really early Rebenek fight in Palace 3?
It seemed that way, yes.
No, we did not, because jkoper found outside, I think, and then I made a little outside quip.
Well, Shiner was just in that outside section as well.
Shiner likes this room. He's going to do it again. Even though he arrived at the key dead end on the other side.
I think he wants to kill this blue IK, is that?
Yeah, that's probably exactly what he did.
That guy owes him $20, so just took him out with thunder.
He's going to try to get the rest of this level. There it is. He's going to take it. Life 8.
Will jkoper be joining us here?
Yeah, he just said he needed to do something real quick. So of the upcoming races here, Dig Shake, yours not included, which ones are you looking forward to watching the most as a spectator?
I'm looking very much forward to Buzz Thunder versus Kulane on Saturday at noon Eastern, I believe, is when that is. Or is it 1 o'clock? I can't remember.
I think it's 1 o'clock.
And I'm also very much looking forward to the Simple Dude versus Rose City Saint. Simple Dude, of course, just an insanely good Zelda 2 vanilla Zelda 2 player, and Rose City Saint probably one of the quickest learners at Zelda 2 Randomizer, so I think that'd actually be a pretty good matchup. What about you, Larry? Any races you're looking forward to?
Well, obviously, I can say your race with Jackamus because you couldn't announce that one because that'd be biased. I just, two really great players in the first round. I'm very interested in that. I also like the matchup between Choke Me I Like It and Link Sevens just because Choke is my guy. And we know Link very well from the Summertime Hot Invitational Tournament, cheap plug, kwtf.net. So, two of my boys racing at the same time is always, even though Link's a little bit more experienced than Choke, it's still going to be fun to watch two of your friends race each other. But there are a lot of other good ones as well. Vonky and Nurm.
Yeah. Nirm has been on fire lately, actually. I would be afraid if I got matched up against Nirm.
Shiner's on his way to Great Palace here. I should remember the way, because I think it was right in the initial area, because he did take that game over there.
And with 748, he shouldn't really have any trouble with this Great Palace. It didn't seem like a too tricky Great Palace, maybe a little bit on the longer side, but not too many crazy decisions or anything that you had to make. And all right. I believe we're joined by jkoper. Congratulations on the win. Or maybe not.
Hello?
Hey.
Oh,
Congrats.
thanks. I think my internet is a little shaky right now, so
okay.
I might drop in and out or whatever.
Well, that was a fantastic time, jkoper. 1 hour and 8 minutes. What were you worried about on that sea? What were you concerned about with that one? Looks like we might have lost jkoper already. Can you hear him, Larry, or is it just me?
I cannot know. I see Shiner revisiting the areas he took deaths to initially, and he just took another death there. He got knocked back into lava. He's got both his lives, though, as we wait for jkoper to reconnect, I guess.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, we hear you now. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Fastest time at a tournament, Dig Shake had an interesting question for you.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
wondering what you were concerned about on that seed, if anything.
Yeah, like, I was concerned that I was going to need fairy, and even if I didn't need fairy, that I was going to need a spell item. Because I only had one free spell left in the end, Thunder in its vanilla spot. And, you know, I didn't find that right away. But once I found that, then I was, you know, mildly concerned. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure because, you know, I'm getting a bunch of red boxes on my OBS. So maybe I should. I don't. It hurts me to say it. Maybe I should cut my stream, but yeah, I don't know. I blame the Netflix upstairs, maybe. Yeah. So once I got Thunder, then my mindset was, you know, go to Palace 6 first because that's where the fairy block is gonna come into play more likely. And then once I got through that, I was thinking, okay, yeah, do Palace 5. Pretty unlikely fairy is gonna be required there, and then Great Palace. You know, just that small chance that fairy was required is the only thing I was really worried about at all.
Yeah, we
Otherwise,
did notice...
this was a very
Sorry.
friendly seed.
Yeah, you got the glove and the magic key right away, which is always a good thing to see. We did notice that you seemed like you were hunting for items for a little bit there. You got both items out of Maze Island, and you got the item out of 4, I want to say, but then decided not to get the item out of 2. I was just curious what was going through your mind there when you decided to skip that one.
Right, because when I got Thunder, I was just treating it as semi-go mode.
Oh, that's right. You did have Thunder by that point. That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah, because 2 and Thunder Town were right next to each other.
That makes sense, yeah.
Early
So-
exploration question for you, for those who
Yeah.
are unfamiliar with this game. You found Palace 1 relatively early with half of the spots that you can find that have items in the Western continent already seen and completed, and another 3 left to be found. Is your decision really to find everything first and then arrive at the best option of what palace you should dive into?
If I already had the magic key, then I would have gone into Palace 1.
Okay,
But
so no
I
no
didn't have that yet.
Yeah, you found that in
Yeah.
the Magic Container Cave thereafter, and then no fairy, so that was obviously an easy answer right there. There's
So
your
you
answer,
don't-
Big Shake.
Yeah,
So you don't like going into Palace 1 even though there are extra keys laying around?
yeah. I mean, that just takes extra time.
Yeah.
Because then you gotta go and hunt down those keys, and it's a pain.
It
So,
is a pain, I agree.
Yeah. I think it worked out pretty well this way.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, with a time like that, we can't really argue against anything that you did.
Yeah. I think I've been waiting for a PB like this for quite a while. you know, I didn't play much differently from how I play in all the races that we do every time, but it seems like in every race, something comes up. Either I need some item and it's in the last possible place, or I need some spell that's in the last possible slot, and it just, you know, just takes an extra 10 or 15 minutes instead.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, things finally mostly played out in my favor here. It seems like I could have taken even more chances. I don't know if there were other ways to reach the Palace 2 area. There probably were, but the boots were awfully convenient, and those were on Maze Island. So, you know, that was pretty helpful. The second item on Maze Island, obviously not helpful, but while I'm there, I'm gonna hunt for that spell item just in case I needed it.
Yeah, just to give you an update, I'm not sure if you're watching Shiner's stream or not, but he actually had a pretty good run too. Didn't really run into many problems. I think his biggest issue was maybe diving into stuff a little bit too early before he had Magic Key or some other items, but he's on his way to Darklink right now, so he's also going to put up a really good time on this seed.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all that he would just find something and dive in right away. Yeah, that's not something I normally do.
He didn't seem to have much of a problem at all adapting to some of the new features that came out in the randomizer.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I feel like this was a bit of a no-win situation for me in some regards, being that either I lose or I win because he's really rusty in the randomizer. But if he isn't having that many issues with it, then then I don't feel like I didn't earn the win.
It'll be interesting to talk to him after his race and see how much that affected him, how rusty he actually felt. But just based on watching this race, it does not seem like he's that rusty at all.
Yeah, I know I had a little trouble in the beginning, maybe some nerves, I don't know. I don't typically like going into the medicine cave at 111. No, I took a life level right away, but yeah. A red Dyra on its own isn't necessarily that much of a problem, but when you throw a Gria in there with it, then it gets to be a little tricky, but I'm glad it worked out okay.
Yeah, that was a pretty nasty cave. You both struggled with that one for a few minutes there.
Yeah. But I guess no regrets. Turned out good in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. You got anything else, Larry?
No, I mean, absolute phenomenal job navigating the overworld, finding everything, and then doing all the things in the order you did them. I mean, there was really nothing to really say except to pick your mind a little bit about some of the decisions you made about Palace 2's item and whatnot. It was really a great game, man.
Yeah, thanks. Man, I sure got lucky with the caves that I took though. Like, I full cleared the south, and then I'm like, okay, time to go through a cave. I go through a cave. Oh, there's a fairy town with my downstab that I want. Is the main thing I wanted from that side. And then found whatever else was on the north. I don't remember the key and something. Maybe the raft was up there. Yeah, and then I discovered that the raft spot wasn't available in the north or the south, and I'm like, okay, well, let's go through this other cave, and oh, there's a raft spot. So I was a little concerned that I was going to need the boots or right away, or maybe I had missed a path in the north that went through the middle and was blocked by a rock or something, and no, but
yeah, we see Shiner finishing up here with a time of 1:25:07, so not a bad time actually. Still a very good time. See if he can come in here. I'm interested to see how rusty he felt and how well he got used to those new features. Be interested to get his take on that.
Yeah, hopefully he can come in for a bit. That'd be good. It's certainly something you don't get every time after a tournament race, is someone playing with new stuff for the first time, their perspective.
Yeah. And it looks like Shiner's joined us. Hey, what's up, Shiner? Can you hear me? Yep.
Try disconnecting and reconnecting, Shiner. I had to do it, kind of.
Or mic settings, maybe.
Oh, there we go. I had push to talk on one of my gamepad buttons.
Oh, hey, what's up, Shiner?
Thought it was on a mouse button. I just went to check.
Yeah. Nice run, man. I was just kind of wondering, you know, you hadn't played this in a little while. It seemed like, did you feel rusty at all, or did you just get right back in the swing of it, or how'd that feel to you?
Not really. I mean, I haven't really streamed in about 6 or 7 months. I did do like a Zelda 2 randomizer seed for fun though, and that kind of helped shake off the rust. I didn't really feel bewildered by the new features, if that's what you guys were wondering.
Yeah,
really, my biggest downfall was like my usual playstyle, like being super greedy to harvest experience all over the place.
I did notice that you basically nothing survived your wrath. You were tearing down enemies left and right, which got you some really good levels. No doubt about that.
Yeah, possibly at the cost of the race. About halfway through, I kind of realized, like, wait, I don't need all these items. Like, I don't need the hammer. I already started with the candle. Don't need boots to go anywhere. I just stopped examining palaces for items. Maybe a bit too late.
You definitely closed the gap very quickly at the end of the race. No doubt about that. You did get off to kind of a slow start, placing your first gem there. But I mean, overall, I didn't see any rust on you either. It looked like you played a really great race. So.
Yeah, my main thing with, like, I feel like I haven't done that much Zelda 2 randomizer yet overall. Like, I feel like I've done a lot more Zelda 1 randomizer, and I feel like I have the routing down to a science of, like, okay, these should be the things I should go for right away. Whereas Zelda 2, it's kind of more, you just have to fight your way through really difficult situations all the time. You just kind of have to improvise more. I feel like I don't have the routing down quite so well. So it was a little awkward at the start where it's like, oh, everything is behind blocks or locked doors. And then I found the master key and I thought, well, if jkoper found that earlier, then I probably won't stand a chance. But that was a nice thing to find when I found it, at least.
Yeah, and the glove being in Palace 1, also a nice thing to find pretty early on in Rando Seed.
Yeah, it's funny when I came over to those blue iron knuckles guarding it too. I was gonna get attack 5 super early. Like I said, I got
the key before I went into any palace.
Oh, there you go. That would explain the time differential between us then. I don't know. I didn't like check the channel, as I usually don't check the channel at all once I'm in Great Palace. I always feel like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm gonna finish. Gonna get first place, but no. That's how it always feels when I'm doing Zelda 2 randomizer.
Well, the good news is, under the current format, you still got 3 more races to come back through and put up some wins and proceed on in the tournament. So you're far from being out of it at this point. And based on the way that you played tonight, I don't think anybody's looking forward to facing you in the next round. So, do you plan to get any more practice in between now and your next race, or are you just gonna dive in and get it
Maybe?
done?
I mean, both sound fun.
Yeah, there've been a lot of races recently online. In fact, I'm wondering if there's going to be one after this, perhaps. I don't know.
There is a race room open already, and Shiner, good game, good time, and I'm not happy that you're 0-1 and now have the chance to face me, that's for sure. But I do have a couple of questions for you. One of them being the new logic and stuff like that. You did notice that fire was reflect early, correct?
Yeah, I didn't. I forgot. I remember I looked at the flags, but I forgot if a new spell effect was added to fire or not. And it took me a while to figure out, like, oh, what is it? What got added? And then I thought of, like, oh, it's reflect. And it took me until that red dire on the bridge to figure it out.
Right, and the P-bag caves do contain items, and I didn't see you go into any of them. Did you find them and then back out, or?
I went into one on the East Continent, and
Okay.
I think I got a magic container out of it.
200-point P-bag.
Oh, okay. Well, that was worth. You know how I love experience.
So I didn't see that because we were going back and forth trying to get the stream going. And then the other question I have for you is, you're talking about this RP stuff. Do you do Grand Theft Auto 5 RP, and do you know Walter Fopp?
I do not own Grand Theft Auto 5, but
Oh, okay.
I recently got I put a graphics card that actually works in my little potato of a computer. I got a GT 1030. 5 years after it came out, I can finally play Diablo 3 at 60 FPS.
Oh, there you go. You talked about I thought I saw you say RP really quickly in IRC chat before the race or Discord. Is that something you do, or was that shorthand for something else?
No, it is something I do. I guess I'm being outed on stream, but yeah, I kind of got into that in December, and it just has wiped out all my other hobbies, and that's why I haven't been streaming very much lately. I tend to like get obsessed with things and get really addicted to them as soon as I jump in. So I'm finally kind of like winding down with that a little bit. Like, I heard there's a tournament for this, and I'm like, oh man, I love Zelda 2 Randomizer. Sign me up.
I've been watching some Grand Theft Auto, and I'm not a really huge Grand Theft Auto fan, but I've been watching the RP, and like with some people, like, I just can't stop laughing. I thought maybe you were doing something like that. I'd definitely tune in, but
It does sound really hilarious.
But yeah, good game to both of you guys, and congratulations, jkoper, and looking forward to see what you're doing in the future there, Shiner.
Yeah, I mentioned also in IRC that like Fazanadu World Record is free, and I really should get back to relearning that game so I can improve World Record. That's what I should be doing, but I'll also probably continue to stream dance games, some 4-panel dance games, you know, DDR in the groove, that kind of stuff.
There was a
Maybe.
little Faxanadu speedrunning happening in the practice stream at SGDQ that I saw.
What, really?
Yeah.
Who was there? Did Doombot go? He's like the up-and-coming rising star. He's going to get a sub 30 pretty soon, I hope.
I saw Prez running it, and he was teaching other people how to run it as well, I believe.
That's awesome. Yeah, when I was at SGDQ 2015, I got this guy into Fazanadu and like running it. I think he runs Valkyria Chronicles 2 or something.
Right on.
Yep, always down to teach people how to run Fazanadu. There's a kind of a rambly tutorial on my YouTube channel and Twitch highlights for those who are curious. But get back to Zelda 2 Randomizer though. Everybody should also run Zelda 2 Randomizer. I love any game where you get a sword and sometimes a shield. So that includes Fazanadu and Zelda 2 and Dark Souls, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that might about wrap it up. Congrats, jkoper, on the win. Better luck next time, Shiner. We got any final words here, Larry?
No, best of luck to everybody going forward, and we'll conclude round 1 this weekend with a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to be posting the link to the tournament page and a link to the schedule in chat really quick once I can find which browser and which tab it is. But we hope to see you guys there.
Yeah, thanks for having us, everybody. And thanks to Nirm. Actually, big shout out to Nirm for picking up the stream after I had that epic fail. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yep. Shout outs to Restreamer, shout outs to jkoper for winning, and shout outs to Angry Larry for being my next opponent, if I interpreted that correctly.
No, you're just in the bracket where it could possibly happen. But
Ooh. Hope I make it that far. We'll see you there.
you got it.